Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. So alhamdulillah, we finished this first section, section 1, which was regarding ilmul ma'ani. Okay, now we're moving on to section 2, which is ilmul bayan. Not ilmul bayan, alif lam is missing here. Ilmul bayan. Okay, now ilmul bayan has three sections we're going to discuss. The first section is called a tashbih, which is a simile. Let me explain. So what's a simile? Simile, similar. What does similar mean? They match. So simile is what? This is the definition, but comparison of one with another. You have two things, you compare one to the other. And what do you compare them in? A common element. Okay? And why do you do it? To make it more explicit, to make it vivid, make it clear. You understand what's going on. It makes it much more interesting, much more appealing. Are you following? That's what tashbih is. Okay, and that's called simile. So what's a simile called in Arabic? Tashbih. Shabbaha yushabbihu tashbihan, to give resemblance, or to draw resemblance between two things. Okay? You got it? That's a simile. And in Arabic you call this tashbih. For example, this lesson is as easy as ABC. Yeah, is it? Inshallah. So this, you're drawing a resemblance between this lesson and the letters A, B, C. So we're saying, look, lesson and ABC, both very easy. Tashbih and ABC, same. No difference. Both are very easy. Do you understand? That's a simile. And you call it in Arabic, tashbih. Yeah? Okay? Right. Let me give you an example now. Now, when you have a tashbih, in tashbih there are four things you have to look at. Okay? For example, look at this example. The Quran is like light in the way it guides people. The Quran is like light in the way it guides people. Okay? Now this example, what is being compared? What is being compared? The Quran. Yeah? What's it being compared? What are we using to compare? We're comparing to light. But what word is drawing the similitude between two of them? Like. The word like is showing the tashbih. You following? The word like is showing the tashbih between the two of them. The Quran, light, and the word like, L-I-K-E. That's the word of comparison. Then we have the thing being compared to Quran. Light, sorry. So the Quran is like light. The word like is showing the comparison. This is being compared to, and this is what's being compared. Do you understand? Okay. And what is this? In the way it guides people. It's a common factor. That why are we comparing Quran with light? That light shows people the way, Quran shows you the way. But light shows you a physical way, Quran shows you a ma'nawi and a spiritual way. Do you understand? So if you look at it here, these are the elements of a tashbih. And every single tashbih must have these four things. You compare one thing with another. Yeah? So that's comparing this with this. You have to use a word, you can't say Zaid lion. You have to Zaid like a lion. So that word that you have that joins, that brings the comparison is a word of comparison. And then why are you resembling Zaid with a lion? Has he got a smelly breath? No, bravery. So that's the element or the common factor. Okay? What is called in Arabic? Mushabbah. So shabbaha yushabbihu tashbihan, shubbiha yushabbahu tashbihan, shabbih la tushabbih, mushabbihun mushabbahun. The one that has been compared. Yeah? The one that has been compared. That's what? The mushabbah. Okay? That is the mushabbah. Then, the particle that you use to draw comparison is called what? Adatut tashbih. Remember we use adat. We don't use harf or ism or fa'il. Remember I told you that in Asma Istifham. Because adat covers everything, whether it's ism or harf. And adat will cover everything, whether it's ism, fa'il or harf. A tool. So the tool of tashbih. The thing that draws resemblance. Okay? And then you have the mushabbah bihi. The thing with which resemblance is drawn. So mushabbah bihi, and the adatut tashbih. And then you have something called wajhu shabah. Okay? The common factor. Now let me make a little clarification here. In the book I wrote wajhu shibh. That's wrong. It's not shibh. That's a mistake I made in the book. It's really supposed to be what? Wajhush Shabah. So I will make that mistake. Anybody watching as well, got the book in front of you. It's a mistake I made. It's not Wajhush Shibah, it's Wajhush Shabah. And I think we say that commonly. I think we say that commonly sometimes, but it's wrong. It's not Wajhush Shibah, it's Wajhush Shabah. Okay? So the common factor is Wajhush Shabah. Okay? So if you go back to the previous example, this lesson is easy as ABC. So we're comparing lesson, that is going to be what?
Now we got one more thing.
No, what is lesson going to be called from these four things?
3 parts.
Lesson is going to be called what? Mushabbah. ABC is going to be? Mushabbahun bihi, the thing you're comparing it to. Okay? Is as is what? Mushabbah. And its ease is what? Wajhu Shabah. So we're saying this lesson is easy like ABC. So we're comparing lesson, Mushabbah, to ABC, Mushabbah bihi. We're using the particle as, and we're comparing it in ease. That's a Wajhu Shabah. Do you understand? Yunus is like a wall in defense. So we're comparing Yunus to a wall in defense. So the same way you can't get past a wall, it stops everything, innit? So you just play football, what happens? It stops everybody. Nobody can get past him. So we're comparing one person to something else in a particular reason. That's called tashbih. And these are the names of the elements. So mushabbah, mushabbah bihi, adatu tashbih, and wajhu shabah. The thing you're comparing is called mushabbah. What you're comparing it with it, bihi, mushabbah bihi. The particle you use is called adatu tashbih, and the reason, what's the common element? That's called wajhu shabah. You got the 4 elements?
Yeah.
Now every tashbih must have these. Whether they mention or not, you must have them. Okay? For example, this is cake. This lesson is cake. So you're just saying this is cake. There's no mushabbah. Mushabbah is there. Mushabbah bihi is there. But there's no like. There's no as. And there's no wajhu shabah. But it's understood. This is like cake in the way it's easy or tasty. Do you understand? But it's understood. But you have to have these 4 elements. Whether they're mahzoof or madhkur, they have to be there. For example, Allah says, يَخْرُجُونَ مِنَ الْأَجْدَاثِ كَأَنَّهُمْ جَرَادٌ مُنْتَشِرٌ. That on the day of Qiyamah, everybody come out from the ajdath, from their graves, like jaradum muntashir, like locusts. You see locusts? So Allah is saying here, they come out of the grave, and how Allah describing them? Like a locust spread all over. Just all over. Just people just going to the mahshar. So Allah is describing it. And what's the purpose? To make it vivid, make it clear, you can appreciate it. Okay? So in here, what are the 4 elements? What are we comparing? How are we comparing them to? What are we comparing them to? What's the adat and what's the wajah? The mushabbah is what? Whom? We're comparing them to what? Jaradum muntashir. Like locusts spread all over. Yeah? Adatu tashbih, adatu tashbih is ka'anna. The harf mushabbah bil fa'il, which means as though, like. So that particle gives the meaning of like. And then the wajhu shibah is not mentioned. But you can understand in it. You don't have to like explicitly mention everything. And the thing is, you shouldn't have to mention this. In the Quran, you if you have to mention it, many times, you can, sometimes it might fit. But sometimes like, if it's so obvious, then you have to mention it. And if it's not obvious, then it won't really be a good tashbih, would it? So this is usually hidden. But you have to have 4. In this case, 3 are mentioned. 1 is understood. Like how? How are they like Jarad Muntashir? In the speed, in the numbers, in the behavior. This is the same way these logos are rushing, just going to one direction. Same way people just be going all across the mahshar. Okay?
Right now we're just doing isms.
Got it?
We're doing single isms right now.
Now, okay.
We take it, we join it.
As I said to you before, usually this is going to be hidden. And if the wajhu shabah, if the wajhu shabah is not mentioned, you call it tashbihun mujmal. Mujmal means vague, means it's not mentioned. The wajhu shabah is not mentioned. And most tashbih are going to be mujmal. You don't have to call it mujmal, but that's a technical name for it. What's it called? Tashbihun mujmal, meaning the wajhu shabah is not mentioned. For example, like this. كأنهم حمر مستنفرة فرت من قسورة. That as though they are humur. Humur means donkeys, but donkeys also use the meaning of zebra. They have like you seen a zebra running from a donkey, from a lion? Qaswara is a lion. And you have to see those documentaries, you've got a lion is hunting and the zebra just sends something, and when it sees a lion, it just runs. So Allah says that these people who are turning away from hidayah, you see that they're running from nasiha. The same way a zebra run from a lion, the same way these people are running away from your nasiha. مَا لَهُمْ أَنِ التَّذْكِرَةِ مُعْرِضِينَ.
Can you see this what?
Why are they running away from nasiha like this?
So that tells you straight away this is Quran.
So Allah is saying that a wild donkey flees from a lion. You have the zebras and these wild, like, or anything like a deer, anything of that species. The way they run away from a lion, that's how people are running away from hidayah. So Allah is going to tashbih. So what? But how? Allah doesn't say how. What's the shabah in? It's not mentioned. It's understood. The speed, the fear, all of these things, like they're scared and worried. Okay? Sometimes you don't mention that tashbih. Sometimes you make it. You don't. Let me give an example. Al-mu'minu mir'atul mu'min. A believer is a mirror of a believer. Are you a mirror for me? Are you a mirror? Can I break you and shine you? But it's really a believer is like. But when you take out the like, what are you doing? You're comparing him even more. You're not saying he's like, you're saying he actually is. That's even more eloquent. That's what we call mu'akkad. It's emphasized. If we say al-mu'minu kamir'atil mu'min. Okay, like, yeah, a believer is like a mirror. But when you say a mu'minu mir'at, he's actually a mirror. You're actually making him a mirror. He's not a mirror, is he? But you're making the tashbih, the mushabbah bihi, as if it's a khabar. It's actually it. You've removed the tashbih element. You're making it more eloquent, more mu'akkad, more emphatic. So if you don't have a harf if you don't have adat tashbih inside, now this becomes what? Tashbihun mu'akkad. Like for example here, al-mu'minu mir'atul mu'min. Yakuffu alayhi day'atahu wa yahutu min wara'ihi. A believer is the mirror of a believer. And you protect him against his loss and you defend him when he's not there. So look, the ka or the myth is not there. So it becomes what? Mu'akkad. Or what can happen now? Sometimes you can remove both. You don't mention the wajhu shabah nor the adatu tashbih. Only two main things are left. The mushabbah bihi. There's no adat, there's no like, no as, no similar, nothing. And there's no reason as well. This is called tashbihun baligh. For example, as-salatu nurun, hadith. Salah is nur. Is salah nur? Salah is not nur, salah is arkan. Salah is takbir and tahmid and tasbih and ruku and sujood. It's not nur, is it? But it's like nur, isn't it? You get what I'm saying? It's like nur. But to say that it's not even like, it's become nur. You make it emphatic. So you remove the ka. You say as-salatu kan nur. Yeah, as-salatu mithlun nur. You say as-salatu nurun. So that is nur itself, emphatically, is the hadith. And then how is it nur? It isn't mentioned how it's nur, but you can understand straight away. What does nur do? It lights you up. It lights up your heart. It shows you the way. It gives you basira. Gives you taqwa. The same way nur gives you light and vision. So but the Prophet ﷺ, when he said this, as-salatu nurun, he didn't mention the word shabah. He didn't mention adat tashbih. So this becomes what now? Tashbihun baligh. Tashbihun baligh. Because both the word shabah and the adat tashbih are missing. They're not missing, they're there, but they're muqaddar, they're understood. Do you understand? So for tashbih, you can get as many as 4 elements, and the minimum you have to have is what? 2. And the more you remove, if you have 2, that's better. That means it's so obvious, I don't have to, it's so emphatic that I'm saying salah is not like nur, salah is nur itself. And it's so obvious, I don't have to mention the reason. So that's what I call, baligh is the highest level. Salah is light, and patience is illumination. So look, this is tashbih, baligh. You following? Make sense? There's also cheeky tashbih. A cheeky. What cheeky mean? Like sly and cheeky. Yeah? If for example I say I got my old car, normal simple car, yeah? If I say Ferraris can almost match me. What am I trying to say? That in terms of looks and speed, what's the original, my car or the Ferrari? If I say, oh, my car is like a Ferrari, I'm saying, okay, Ferrari is the original, and I'm trying to match Ferrari. I'm getting cheeky, I'm saying, no, what? Ferrari is almost as good as my car. I'm trying to say what? My car is better. And Ferrari is trying to match my car. It's supposed to almost be around it, really. You give the more famous or the better thing, the mushabbah bihi. So my car is like a Ferrari. But if you want to switch it around, you say what? The Ferrari is like my car. The Ferrari is like my car. You get what I'm saying? You get it? Why this is like, this is kind of cheeky, and we're trying to say even more that. So for example, this belief in Makkah, what did they used to say? Why is riba haram? If I buy a pen for £10, sell it for £12, it's halal, isn't it? So this thing, if I lend you £10 and I take back £12 from you, why is that haram? I'm selling you money. You're paying back more money. So instead of saying that riba is like bay, that interest and usury is like buying, that would mean what? The original is buying is halal, and you're giving tashbih of usury to what? Buying. But they changed it around. They got cheeky. What did they say? That buying is like riba. So what's the original? Riba and usury. And buy just like that. So what we should have said was what? What they should have said was what? That originally what is the main thing? Buy, and riba is like buy, so it should be halal. But they got a bit cheeky, turned it around and said what? The original what? Original is riba. And buy is just like riba. So riba is permissible. You get what I'm saying? So they changed it around to give emphasis. It's called tashbih. What's maqloob mean? Inverted or flipped. Slipped around. Innamal bay'u mithlu riba. Trade is just like usury. It's supposed to be usury is like trade. Now look, we're trying to prove that usury is permissible. So trade is also one way of making money. So usury is like trade. They said no, usury is the original. And now we're going to use trade as an example. So making trade the mushabbah. Okay? You got it? Right, let's look at a summary of this. So what are the key words? Mushabbah. What's mushabbah? The thing being compared. What's the mushabbah bihi? What we compare the mushabbah to is called the mushabbah bihi. Adatu tashbih is what? The tool, the particle, the harf, the ism, the fa'il. Whatever you use to show comparison is called what? Adatu tashbih. What's wajhu shabah? The common factor, the reason you're giving tashbih. What's the tashbih mujmal? When you don't mention the wajhu shabah. Okay? Tashbih mu'akkad is what? When there's no adatu tashbih. Got it? And then if you take both the wajhu shabah and the adatu tashbih out, what do you get? Tashbih bali, which has none of the two of them. Do you understand? You got it? So mushabbah, what you compare, mushabbah bi what you compare it to. Adatu tashbih is the particle that you use, the word, whether it's ism, fa'il or harf. Then you have the common factor, wajhu shabah. If the wajhu shabah is not mentioned, you call it mujmal. If the adatu tashbih is not mentioned, you call it mu'akkad. And if both are missing, if the mujmal and mu'akkad together, you call it what? Tashbihun Baleegh. You got it? That's the basic summary or introduction to tashbih. There's also a lot more details, but as an introduction, it should be enough, inshallah. Okay? Any questions? Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.